welcome to Casa Sylvestre. Thank you for braving the coronavirus and coming in. This really means a lot to me that you guys decided to come and spend this afternoon with us. This is something I've been wanting to do for about 2 years. When I met
Nargis.
Nargis.
Yeah.
The first time I met her, she came into the room and she just took it over, and I was like, oh my goodness, other people in my network needs to meet her, just to kind of like get a different perspective on the narrative around Muslim women. And then she started talking about her her travels, and I thought we have to get this going. And then my house was under renovation for 1.5 years, so that did a little delay. But thank you for taking the time again. And it's really a simple format. Get Nargis to kind of like introduce herself. There's some questions that I'm going to ask her, and then we'll open the floor for people to ask questions. So very interactive. And apparently we're getting recorded, so if you're moved by it, we'll send you a link, and if you could send it out to your network of people. I think I believe the way to agitate change and for advocacy is to live it, and the way we live it is by just going about our daily life as if, and then people don't see it as something strange and different and scary. So that's my ask for today. I know I've already done one ask of braving the coronavirus, and the next ask is distributing the recording. So you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
My name is Nargis Akhtar, and I'm really impressed that because she found my story so interesting. To bring you all in here. I remember when she came first, I started only talking. I took because she's right. I took over from everybody. Nobody talked. I just talked, and it was very. Afterwards, I realized. I told Iqbal, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I took over," and you guys were just sitting there and listening to my baba talking. I was born in Tanzania, Africa, and I remember my early childhood. We used to live in a hut. Okay, so there was no water. There was a hall to go to the bathroom, and somebody has to bring what's called bucket of water, and we used to buy it and then use the water to cooking and showering and everything. And there was no shower. We used to go in that same toilet where there is a hole. What's called, my mom will take us and give us a bath. But for me, at that age, it was so much fun. I was so happy with that childhood. And my mom always used to say, no, we should move from here, we should move from here. But I didn't see anything different to why you want to move. I'm just having so much fun here, my thinking, because I was young. Then afterwards, we moved to what's called better location in town. At that particular time, it was exciting. The first day, especially to switch on the light. The lights were on, wow. And then you turn the tap, the water is coming on. It was exciting for me. I was very excited. Then one day, I was like about 11 years old, my mom got sick. When my mom got sick, and she could not, at that particular time, I didn't know what was going on with her. So, at night, me and my sister is 5 years older than me, we sat down next to her and started talking to her, and she will open her eyes and say, but she could not talk. So next day, me and my sister decided that we need a doctor. So, I go and call the doctor. The doctor says, do you have money? Wow. Money, I don't have money. So I said, okay, I'm going to go and get the money, and then I'll come and get you. So I go home and I tell my sister, doctor wants money. So we had some kind of a jewelry at home. We knew where my mom kept. So I took the jewelry and I went and sold it. By this time, I got some money. So I take the money, I go to the doctor. The doctor says that it's 12 o'clock. I need to go for lunch. Come at 2 o'clock and get me. So I come back home. And by that time, my neighbor came downstairs and she was reading some Quran. I didn't realize that she was, she was dying. She was almost dying. So I go at 2 o'clock to get the doctor. The doctor comes with me. But by that time, when I entered the house, my mom was dead.
Oh, no.
So she wrote what is called, he wrote what is called, what's called death certificate. So, I mean, over there is like that as soon as a person dies, what's called, they have to bury her. So she died like at 3 o'clock. By 7 o'clock, she was buried. Okay? So we had so many relatives. My mom's sisters were there. My mom's cousins were there. But after we bury her, we come back, me, my sister, and my father. None of the relatives came with us. Nobody came to stay with us. That was the awful night of my life. I can still remember that day. I mean, it was awful, awful, awful. So afterwards, anyway, one day after my mom died, I go in the bathroom and I hear my dad crying. So when he comes out, I promised him that I'm going to get out of this Tanzania and make myself enough money so that if I have my kids, they will never go through what I went through, this thing. So that's what I gave a promise to my dad. And I had a teacher in school. And in our countries, it's not like America. They always encourage us that you can do anything in life if you put your mind into it. Study hard, do good, and you'll be okay. In our country, by the time you are 16 years old, you have got your head on your shoulder. You know exactly what you want. While in this country, that's where all the problem starts. You know, the teenage life, you know, and that's where I made a mistake, because when I saw my kids are 16 years old, I said, wow, my job is done now. Not in America. That's where problem starts. That's where they get the car. That's where all the things starts. You know, that especially with these two when they were growing up, it was really, very challenging for me, because I didn't know that thing. And when my mom died, she never taught us anything. Know how to clean the house, how to do anything. Anything, if she's doing it, we'll try to tell her, Mom, can I do it? She said, no, Mom, she'll tell us, you people are too slow. Let me finish it up, okay? So, what's called, that's the part. Then afterwards, I used to go to my teachers a lot. Especially there was one teacher. I used to go to him a lot and complain about how miserable I am and how I miss my mom and all sorts of things I used to tell him. So he told me that was called do like this, was called every day write down all what was called how you feel. And that will make it easy for you. So I started to do that thing since I was 11 years old, and still I do it. I write down all my feelings. When I'm sad, when I'm happy, when I have got problem, I just write down help, help, help God, help God. How to help, I don't know, but you know how to help me. Just help me. That's how I used to do. So then then I started working in the bank, and I didn't finish my high school. About 2 months before finishing the high school, I had to get out of the high school, because it was like that if you finish the high school, then you have to go for join the army, and I didn't want to join the army. Because my father was by himself by that time, and by that time my sister was married and she was gone. So we were talking about all the time that I want to get out, I want to get out, I want to get out. Then I had a friend, and a friend, she was working with me in the bank. She was my best friend in particular. And then one day she told me that I got engaged, I'm going to get married. And I said, oh boy, this is this is going to be horrible, because she is so, I'm so much attached with her, and now she's going to get married and going. And at that time her husband was telling me, don't worry, whenever you are ready to come to England, you come to my house. And he told me that I promise you. Here I'm working in the bank for about 5 years. Same thing comes in the bank also, that if you want to work in the bank, you have to get what's called Tanzanian passport. Otherwise, you have to give your British passport away. And I had a British passport. So I'm coming home and I'm telling my dad that this is the story now. So my dad says that, why don't you go to, to your friend Hansa, call her, see if she will, take you. But I said, I don't have money. What's called, how will we go? I don't have any money. When I started working, I used to give him money. Instead of spending that money, he saved it. So I have had enough thing. So I go and try to get the visa for London. I talk a lot. So so I talked a lot, and they said, nope, you are going to stay there once you go there. You are not coming back. So they stamped the no denial. The visa is denial. So I go back to the bank and I tell my manager, my visa got denial. She said, did you talk a lot? I say, yeah, I talked a lot. She said, you don't talk over there. Whatever they ask, you say yes or no. And they said, stop. Don't tell your story. I said, okay. So I tell him, how do I go again? So I had my name, like full name, Nargis Hasnali Pira Khatau on my passport. So he says, what's called, shorten your name, Nargis Pira. So I shorten my name, okay, and he makes for me a new passport. And he tells me, go and get the visa from France, from Germany, from Switzerland, and pretend that you are going as a what's called tourist, and try to get the what's called accommodation by a WCA, so they know that you have got accommodation. You are going from one country to another country, but don't talk. I said. He said, don't talk too much. I said, okay, I won't talk. So he explains me about what's called the airport of London. And here I call my friend. I said, what's called, I want to come. She said, okay, you can come. I said, yes, I got somewhere to go. So here he explains me everything about the airport. But he forgot to tell me that when you stand near the door opens automatically. Okay? So when I'm trying to go out and I stand near the door and the door opens and I say, oh boy, I jump back, you know. That was my first experience about London. Anyway, I go to London. I reached there Saturday, and on Monday I go out to look for a job. And I was lucky, I got a job. Wow, I said, that's good. In the meantime, everybody's telling me the best way you can stay in this country, apply for the what's called colleges. But I don't have O-level. I don't speak good English. I cannot express myself. I speak broken language. So now what? So I go and try to talk to these British people. Beg your pardon, they don't understand me. Okay, but they ask me, what language you speak? I say, I speak English. They say, oh, no, this is not English. What are you speaking? I say, oh boy, I'm stuck here. Anyway, what's called, I apply to all nursing school. Over there in England, nursing school is different than here. Over there, they pay you. Because you work 6 weeks in the what's called classroom, and 6 weeks you you work in the ward. So they pay you, and they gave you what's called nurses' home too. So that was perfect for me setting. So I apply, and I don't get anywhere in London, but I get in Leeds, so far away. But I take it because my concept was that when you are a beggar, you can't be choosy. Anywhere you get it, you just go. So I go in Leeds over there. But you know what? What's called, God sends angels in everywhere for you. So I go in Leeds over there. I make a mistake of what's called writing the college name, the hospital name. I made a small mistake, like what's called 1-2 letter difference. So they refused my visa. So here I want to. So I go to immigration office. When I go to immigration office, I find one old man sitting outside, and as always, I talk a lot, so I talk to him, and he says that, whoa, why don't you come to my house? And I said, okay, no big deal. I'll come to your house. At that particular time, I didn't even think about what can go wrong or anything like that. I was just, I needed somebody in that area, because over there, the people of Yorkshire are so bad, okay? So bad. They don't even like the people from London. And here I am from Africa, and you know what I mean? So I go over there, and the first thing I get in the nurses' home, and then I start doing my O-levels, because that was the condition of the university, that if I do my O-levels and also work as a nurse, then I will get, I'll be okay. So I go and join the English class, and I meet this English teacher. She was so nice to me. She helped me a lot. I used to write all my essays, and sometimes I used to write how upset I am with the people, how these British people treat me, and how I feel so alone. So one day she called me and she said that when the people start talking bad about you, you blurt it out, me speak no English. So when you say that me speak no English, the people automatic, they will stop talking to you, because they know that you don't understand anything. So that was really cool example. I got it from her. Me speak no English, okay? All right. So anyway, and then I go to this man's house, and he introduces with all his children, like what's called her daughter. And it was a really amazing, God brought like an angel in my life, that I could go anytime to their house and spend the night. And sometimes I'm working, and if I have a day off, I will call him. I say, Uncle, I want to come to your house. He said, okay, come. At 11 o'clock, I take a bus. And wherever the bus stops, he will be waiting for me and take me at his house. But he was very, very, very miser. So he switches off all the heater, and this is a winter here, okay? So me and her daughter, we wear coat, okay? We wear gloves and we sleep. But it was so nice to be in the family like them, like the family, it's all right. So then I used to trick over there in London. This nursing was supposed to be for 4 years. After 3 years, I will go to, I went to my, teacher. I said, see, my English is not good. Can I take my finals with the 3-year-old class? So if I fail, then I will do it in my own class. So they say, okay, but I passed. Okay, now I passed. Now I have to find another, another college. Because I have to stay in England for 5 years before I can get out. So I find another college. I go to especially in the hospital, the doctors are so bad, awful. The doctors, they will try to take you out and do those things, and so I used to pray all that. The only thing really kept me on focus was that when I was leaving home, my dad called me. He says that, Ma, you are going to England. So I said, oh boy, he's going to tell me, don't have a boyfriend, don't go to clubs, don't drink, don't smoke, all sorts of things, But when I go and talk to him, he says, the only thing I want you to do is to say your prayers. Because we say 5 times prayers. And even if you can't say 5 times prayers, when you come back home, say all those prayers again. You promised me. I said, okay, I'll do that one. So that really kept. And these doctors will try. I was so miserable in the hospital, because all these doctors, they always try to take you out. They want you to go out with them. They want to go to a drink. They go, no. So one time I was awful. I went to the, I wanted to become a nun. Okay, I thought that if I become a nun, then I don't have this problem. So, so I go and meet the sister superior, okay, over there, and I go and talk to her. Same story. I talk a lot, so I talk her, and then and their sister says, "Let me tell you one thing. You will not be able to become a nun." I said, why? She said, because you've got such a strong faith of Islam, and I have never heard any Muslim to become a nun. So here I am. Now what should I do? So every time I go, I mean, a lot of times I remember when I go home, I used to cry so much. But when I cry, I always pray to God, please help me. How? I didn't know. Because I was all by myself. I didn't have any friends or any family. So it was really hard. But I was very stubborn. I didn't want to go back as a failure. You know, I wanted to stick around and just do it until I get what I wanted. I wanted to not go back and have kids, and my kids go through what I went through. Because those days of how my mom died, it used to come in my mind all the time. Especially when you are by yourself, you remember those things a lot. So I said I didn't want to go back. So I stuck around. I stick around, and then whatever happened, anyway, after a few years, I go to London. And I go to this, what is it called, hostel. Okay, when I go to hostel, I go to do my laundry. Okay, when I'm doing my laundry, I find this handsome man standing there. Okay. That's my husband, okay? So when I see him, I said, oh boy, I said, wow, this is a really cool, very nice person, you know? And we started talking, and as we started talking, we became really friends. You know what I mean? And then afterwards, you know, we decided that, okay, we were going to get married, okay? But he is a Sunni, and I am Shia. Okay, and my family Shia, they are like a very orthodox Shia. Okay, and this man is Sunni. So I go and tell my dad, I go back home to visit him, and over there they have already lined up some boys for me to get married. Okay, arranged marriage. Okay, and here I have already met Salim. So I called Salim. I said, Salim, this is the story here. They want me to get married. So what do you want me to do? He says, come back. I said, what? I said, that man, wow. I mean, he said, come back here. He didn't say that, I don't know, it's up to you, what you want to do. He said, no, come back. I said, okay. So I go back, and then but before I go back, I tell my dad, I said, see, I met this boy, okay? And he's Sunni. But I think that he's really good person, and I think I want to marry him. So my dad said that if you chose him, then I'm sure he's going to be the best person, because I know you you got the values of what is supposed to be in your mat. So he writes a letter to his family. His family said, no, you can't marry her, because they have also arranged for him to get married with somebody else. Now here I come in the middle. So, okay, but what happened, because we were very strong, we really wanted to get married with each other. So then his father also he said, okay, you can get married, but do not come to Pakistan until the boys are, if you have children, until the boys are 10 and 11. Because if you come now with him, they will kill you and they'll make him marry somebody else. Okay, in Pakistan, they were crazy people, you know. Sorry, Zafrin. I didn't mean you, okay? I didn't mean you. I meant that family, you know, that family, they were very like that, you know. So anyway, we get married, and then it was such a struggle for me to become pregnant. I used to become pregnant, but I used to lose the baby every 3 months. We got married in 76, right? Until 81, Iqbal was born. So I had a lot of miscarriage on the way. So, and then when we are in England, Salim was working and I was working as a dental hygienist. By that time, I had three degrees: nursing, dental nurse, and dental hygienist. So I work in in that field only. I used to work only 3 days a week. I used to make more money than Salim. and Salim used to work 5 days. Okay, I work only 3 days.
Do you guys understand why I thought it was important for you to meet her?
So anyway, so then I used to read a lot of newspaper, okay? And in our country, we are taught about the whole world, okay, in school, not like here. Because over here, when first time I came, it was what's called anything but American. For me, it was completely different. So we knew about America a lot. We knew about President Kennedy a lot. So, and we knew about Mississippi River. And I was fascinated with Mississippi word, M-I-S-S-S-I. I was so fascinated with it. So I get the newspaper. It's saying that there's a job in America, and where Mississippi River empties, New Orleans. The Mississippi River comes down, and I didn't know about New Orleans, nothing, and I was so excited. I told Salim, let's apply and come to America. And the deal was like that if you come to America, they will pay for you to come here, stay for a year, and if you don't like it, they'll send you back. And if you like it, they'll help you to get a green card. So I told Salim, let's go. It'll be like a holiday. So, okay, Salim says, reluctantly, he said, yeah, okay, do it, whatever you want. Okay, he didn't know that. he didn't know that he didn't know that I'm going to really be persistent to get this job for you, okay? So every day I will call the office. Did my husband get an offer? Did my husband get an offer? And then one day that girl told me, yes, your husband got an offer. So I said, yes, so when can we go? She said, when do you want to go? I said, as soon as possible. As soon as possible. He said, okay, there is a flight on what's called 18th of November. You want it? I said, yes, book us on. So when Salim comes back, I tell him, we are going to America. We got booked a flight on the 18th of November. Salim says, oh boy, I want to stay till 1 year. So I can get my raise. because he was working now for a year, so he wanted a raise. I said, forget about raise. This is a good deal. Let's go. And it was like that once we come here, we get a bonus of 10,000. And that particular time, 10,000 was a lot of money. In the meantime, I was pregnant again, but I didn't know. I said, no, we are going. I'm going to be okay. So we come here on the 18th of November, and what's called one couple come to pick us up at the airport. What's called at that time she was a girlfriend and boyfriend, and somehow we have been friends since then. We are still friends, So they come and pick us up, and I see this big parking lot. We are coming from New York, from the airport coming back, big parking lots. And oh boy, America looks so big. It looks like a different planet because England is so small and this is so big, So anyway, I was really excited to come. We come here and he starts working and I'm staying at home here. And then then I lost the baby. Then I became more miserable. I was so miserable, and every now and then I'll pack my suitcase and keep near the door. I'm waiting for I'm waiting for Salim to come so I can go to the airport. I said, I don't want to stay in America. I don't want to stay. I want to go back. I want to go back. And because Salim is very nice and calm, not like me, okay? Yeah. Because everybody sees Salim, they say, wow, he's such a nice person. When they see me, they say, wow. She's so different, you know what I mean? So anyway, I became pregnant with Iqbal. So when I became pregnant with Iqbal, then I settled down. But when he was born preemie. And at that particular time, we didn't have this what's called internet and anything like that. So my doctor and everybody around me were talking that if a child is preemie, they are very slow to learn. They will be slow in everything in life. And I'm a person like that if somebody tells me you can't do it, I will prove them I can do it. So I used to go to the library and get a lot of books at that time and read about preemie, how to stimulate them. I got all the books about how to teach your baby to read and how to do this thing. So I taught him, and I made, and I'm blessed now. He has got a PhD, and I don't have nothing. You know what I mean? I worked with him so hard, and I taught him to read by the time he was 3.5 years old. And I wanted to go to work as a what's called dental hygienist. So I went and tried to get into that program, but I was getting too much. I go to meet the people, and the people at that particular time, it didn't even click me. And the person will tell me that I'm a Jew, and I'll say that I'm a Muslim. So I said, what's the big deal? He's telling me he's a Jew. I don't know. But at that time, I didn't know about Jews and Muslims, how much they're fighting. I didn't even have a clue. You know, I mean, what was going in the world. So when I had Iqbal, after teaching him so much, I was looking for daycare, and they didn't have any kind of daycare the way I wanted him to learn. So there was a small daycare on sale. So then we bought it, and that daycare is Children's College, and I'm still working in there. I don't know when I'm going to retire. So that's my story. Any questions? I can.
so as you can see, like when I heard this, it's such a moving thing because I think Western media tells us that women of Islam are so submissive and so marginalized, and that that they really can't do any kind of self-determination. And just to give you perspective, she's talking about doing this in the 70s and 80s, not in 2019. And so I just felt the need to get the word out. So I guess a couple of questions that I have. That's like a very powerful thing to like pack up and leave your country and go to another country. I know moving from Belize to the US, the first few years I was definitely not a happy person. Besides prayer, like how did you go about in a day-to-day in just kind of keeping your faith and moving forward?
The most important thing was that what is it called? I had a lot of that I got connected with when I met this what's called person in my life in Leeds. He used to read the Quran in English, and he will always tell me that why don't you buy one? And I always tell him that I don't have money. It's 20 pounds is too much for me. So one day when there was a Eid, he gave me as a gift. And when I read the first chapter of the Quran, okay, in that one, it tells you exactly how to be as a good person. It starts from the time of conception to breastfeeding to how you treat your children. How the whole concept of it is it's called Surah Baqarah. It's very, very, and I read that many times to open my mind and to help me out that and the most important was in that surah it said that you have to have faith, and there is always a dark side, dark days, but always it's going to be a brighter day eventually. But you have to have faith. And sometimes what do people do? They have faith, but then almost there to get to their whatever they want, they stop. And they think that, no, I can't reach my goal, or I can't do those things. So that made me, that small thing I learned, somehow, I don't know how, that click in my head, that whatever happens, I am going to be okay. I am going to be, the small thing was, my inside was telling me, no, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. And at that time, I didn't know that, about special visualization. And this I didn't know, but when I used to read a lot of books when I was young, English books, and the author was Barbara Cartland. She was, a long time ago, and her books was all about especially romantic and walking around London, and the seasons are changing, autumn and spring. So I used to visualize a lot. I will sleep at night and just think about that I'm walking in London. I'm seeing all these things, I used to do that, but at that time I didn't know that what's called visualization is so powerful. I didn't know that, but I used to do it a lot. And I always used to think that, okay, no, you can do it, you can do it. I had to self-talk myself. I used to do a lot. I can do it. I will be able to do it. I can do it, tell myself all the time, you know. So that really helped me a lot. That was the thing, really pushed me to do my things, you know. Yeah. And many times my husband, because my husband was working as a contractor, so because sometimes he'll come back and said, okay, I'm laid off. So I said, don't worry, you'll get another job. I'm not that type of person who says, oh yeah, now what will happen? How will pay the bills? Oh, no. I said, don't worry, we'll get another job. You'll be okay. You'll be okay. You know, that is my always to be positive. How I learned it, I don't know. But I learned at very early age to be really positive and always talk to yourself, and you can do it. You can do it. That's the thing.
So how do you, so like from where I'm sitting, you seem like a trailblazer, like you're a person that broke a lot of barriers and overcame a lot of stuff. I mean, today we have the Me Too movement where women are talking about how they felt and how they got abused and felt that like they didn't have a choice to resist the men. And you mentioned about the fact that you just kind of like kept resisting them.
Yeah.
And then you talk about moving to new country, and so I'm sure that part of the reason why you felt that in London and in the U.S. It was so difficult and was because people saw you as different, and that was probably frightful, and so probably an undercurrent of racism going on. How did you like move past all of that and still be able to just be like this like powerhouse of positivism?
Yeah, I mean, I used to think that when I went to England, I had a clear picture. I used to tell myself, this is not your country, so you better behave and do what they want, okay? But there's a limit. One time I went to the pub, and when I went to the pub, I found all this smoking and so awful. I told the girls then, I'm not coming to the pub, I don't like. I could tell them no. I learned how to say no at a very early age. You know, and if a doctor will tell me that, okay, can you come I'm just going to have some, because everybody knew that I said no. So they, we just want to, I'm going to help you with your reading. I said, nope, I don't need you to help me. I'll go to the library and learn. But you know what I mean? So I learned how to say no at a very early age. But also I learned how to stay away from the people who are negative. So when I left home, only the person knew was my sister, my brother-in-law, and my dad. I didn't tell anybody. I left all the friends. I disconnected with everybody. I went to London and I stayed there for 5 years. I didn't keep in touch with anybody because I knew all the people have got negativity, okay? They got a lot of things they will tell you not to do. They'll make you scared. So I didn't want to have that one. So I left. I left even when only recently I broke my arm. And when I broke my arm, I have a friend. So she will, or if anybody calls me and feels sorry for me, after that I don't talk to that person for a while, until I made my sure that I am okay, I can do it. I don't like negativity in my life. I don't need that. I'll just cut it off. And I'm really good at cutting off people. If I don't, I cut off all. I had so many friends. Then my husband at that time was called Space Shuttle. There was a disaster of Space Shuttle in the 80s. So my husband has to find a job in another state. So he went to work at San Antonio. So I had this big group of friends. We used to get at everybody's house, each house all the time. But so I go to one of the first time after my husband was gone, I went to one of my friend's house. And what they did, those men, they were asking Iqbal and Aziz, oh, do you miss your daddy? Your daddy is gone now, he's not at home. What do you do? Oh, you miss it. So while we are coming back in the car, Iqbal and Aziz are crying. They were like, Aziz was like 2-year-old and Iqbal was like 4-year-old. They are crying that why did my daddy leave and this and that. And after that incident, I cut off all the friends. I didn't need anybody. I can survive without friends, but I want my family to be intact. That's the most important thing. So that's how I really survive. I used to tell Iqbal Aziz the same time, listen to everybody, but take the advice of the one you think is going to help you, because all the friends are not your friends. You know, so I don't know how much they got it, but I think they got it.
Yeah, I think they got it. Well, I mean, I'm beyond impressed with Iqbal.
Yeah.
I met Iqbal at a happy hour. He wasn't drinking, but I think I spent the whole happy hour talking to him, and I was like, oh my God, this guy is like amazing.
Yeah.
If I have to meet the people that created him. I always like I meet people and I want to meet their parents, because then, you know, there are always some variation in their parents.
Yeah.
So there were so many opportunities along your path that you could have just veered away from your religion. When your mom died, you could have said, lost faith. When you moved to London and it was so difficult, you could have lost faith. When you moved to the US, you could have lost faith. When you had the number of miscarriages, you could have lost faith. Like, how did you manage to keep your faith through all of this?
Okay, when my mom died, I was so mad with God. I was really, really mad. Okay, I didn't want to say prayers. I was awful. Then one of my cousins, he came in. I mean, every time in my journey, I meet somebody who helps me out to get on the right track. So this year, I go to, when my mom died, I was not saying prayers, I was not doing anything, I was rebellious in school, I was awful. My dad, the teacher will give me a note to give to my dad, so my dad can come to school. So my dad will come to school, and the teacher will say, this girl, your daughter is so, was so disruptive, and she does so awful things and this and that. And while me and my dad, we are coming back from school, my dad will tell me, girl, you have got so much potential in that concept that you can do better than this. Why are you acting up so much in school? But I was mad with God. Okay, so then my cousin comes in my life and he tells me that Yusuf Ballu, you know, we met him. So he tells me, okay, I will behave in school, get good grades, then I will send you a ticket to come to Zanzibar. Zanzibar is a small island. So he said, you behave now. This is high time now. I mean, you can't be this bad and acting up this bad, and your grades are going down, because I was very smart. But my grades were going down because I was not learning at all, making fun of the teachers when they're teaching, you know, doing all sorts of things. So anyway, when he gave me that incentive that I will send you the ticket to come to Zanzibar, then I shaped up. So that really helped me out. Okay, then when I went to England, I met that uncle. Then because my own people, from my Shia people, they were from Africa. They came to London too. So when I go and talk to them, I say, hi. They'll tell me, I don't know you. Who are you? Wow. I said, really? And you don't know me? He said, no, I don't know you. So my own people from Tanzania, they were like that. Okay, they will tell me, I don't know you. They thought that I needed some help, but I didn't need anybody's help. I need God's help. I need the superpower help. Okay, so, but that uncle really helped me out to become this one. And then when we come to America, same damn story. I thought that America speak English, so I'm okay. Really? No. This American English is so different from British English, okay? I call, at that time we didn't have this, phones, no? So I wanted to make a call to Tanzania. So I called the operator, I said, I want to make a call to Tanzania. So she said, spell the country. So I said, Tanzania. She said, spell it again. I spell again. I said, what's wrong with you? You don't know? She said, what is Z? I said, Z is Z. And then, then we go back and forth, and then I tell her that it's the last letter of alphabet. So she said, oh, Z. I said, whatever it is, just give me the call, you know what I mean? So it was complete. And then I met we wanted to, I have never been in a daycare in my life, okay? So I wanted to open the daycare. And my neighbor had an experience in daycare, but her what's called credit score was not good. And our credit score was good, so we applied for the loan, and we get this, what is it called, a daycare. And she was a, what was she, Protestant or what, a Christian, right? Yeah. Something like that, yeah. And she wanted to implement religion in the school. And my concept was no religion. Religion is supposed to be taught at home, not in the school. So but then what we decided that one day she works and one day I work. When she is working, she will teach them our religion. And the parents are like that they might be nice to you, but they don't like some certain things. So when I come to work, they tell me, what's called yesterday, they were taught about Jesus. And I don't want my child to learn about it in the school, because you are giving different. So anyway, what's called, we broke it off, thing. From her. But I mean, in America, really, one day, at that time, Salim was not in town, and I was having such a hard day. So I take Iqbal and Aziz, we go to the, what's called, bookshop. Over there, I find the book of Dr. Wayne Dyer, Erroneous Zone. At that time, it just came out, you know, okay? So I'm looking at the price is $5, and I say, oh boy, I don't have money, I don't want to buy. I go to the other section of the, bookshop. I see again this, what's called the display of Dr. Wayne Dyer. I said, no, I don't want to buy it. I go to the third section, I find again that book again. I said, okay, I think I should better buy it, because, you know, this is coming again and again in front of me. So I buy the book of Dr. Wayne Dyer, and I start reading it. I sat the whole night and read it. And the one thing I really got it about the power of forgiveness, how to forgive people, because I had carried a lot of load from Africa to America, all the grudges of my sister, my brother-in-law, my cousins, all sorts of things. I'm still thinking here, sitting around thinking about it and making myself upset. And he said that when you think about it, as if you are what's called killing the manure. Every now and then you take the manure out and put in yourself and you complain. So that really, Dr. Wayne Dyer, that really helped me a lot, his books. And then afterwards, I really read a lot of his books until he died. You know, about a couple of years back he died. But he was writing in a simple language like me. I can understand. What's called, anybody can understand it. And he had a lot of wisdom, I think, according to me. He had a lot of wisdoms of forgiving people, of going on with your life. Don't look back, just go forward. No matter how much people tell you not, you can't do it, you just do it. You can do it. You know what? Because he also, especially when he wrote that book, it took him. He used to go from what's called radio station to another radio station to to sell the books until he became a bestseller. So he really helped me out at that era of this thing. And I always used to promote that book to Iqbal. I always, especially if any of our friends are in trouble, I said, give them Dr. Wayne Dyer.
Now I can understand why some of the conversations that we have.
Yeah, and when they were young, I never used to listen. When I was back home, I used to listen a lot of music and go to the movies a lot, Indian movies, and I was so corrupted with that concept of this one. So when I had my kids, no music at all in my house. I used to put all the tapes only about how to improve yourself. And my teacher used to tell my teachers, they say, Miss Nargis, you are really putting them in a jail and, and driving them to school and from school with these tapes, so they don't have where to go out to listen. But I also always used to be real, and I was very particular about, I put the most important thing I taught them, because when I was back home, we are Muslim, but we don't practice Islam. We are just born Muslim. Okay, we lie, we cheat, we disrespect people, we do all the wrong things which the Quran says don't do it. So when I learned the Surah Baqarah, when Iqbal and Aziz were born, I was doing what is called research. I found the book is called 8 Keys to Better Me. Okay, in 8 Keys to Better Me, there are 8 characteristics to teach the kids. Like what is it called? Honesty. I always tell, I was called simplize. I made simple for the kids to understand. Like honesty, I always tell the truth. Respect, I respect my mom and dad and my teachers, okay? And patriotism, I love my country, USA. Kindness, I always ready to help. Responsibility is my responsibility to do my homework. You know, courage, I have courage to say no to smoking, drinking, and taking drugs, you know. So I simplified it and I taught them. And I was very particular about honesty. When Iqbal Aziz were in a grade school, I will tell my kids that, okay, if they did something wrong, if they come and tell me that, when I ask them, I'll tell them, tell me the truth. If you lie, I will punish you. If you tell me the truth, I won't punish you. I do the same thing with my kids. So they learned how to tell the truth until they went to high school.
16-year-old again.
After high school, everything went down. Lying was the lesson. You know, I used to tell Iqbal Aziz, when you lie, it's only you think that, you know, people don't know. Everybody knows that you are lying. Lie is like that, you know. But so when they were in grade school, if anything goes wrong in the classroom, the teacher will ask Aziz or Iqbal, because they knew that they always tell the truth. You know what I mean? So those eight concepts of 8 keys to better me, I really instill in them. You know, and honesty, respect was most important. All the kindness, you know, to help people, all those things is so important, because no matter how much high tech we get, this thing will never go out of thing. You know, it's very important.
Absolutely. So does anybody have any questions?
I think it would be interesting to find out like what she does with the school now, where the early learning program. And what's the population, and why do you teach them, and what's your philosophy behind that?
You know,
who are the kids in your school?
because when I opened the children's college, I had all white kids. The whole school was white. Then one black kid walked in school, all the white went away. You know, but I didn't care. And a lot of people told me that you will never survive because you're having so many black kids in your school. But you know, I used to tell them that when God wants you, nobody can touch you. You know, so my concept, it doesn't matter what color you are, but the concept is to teach them. So my children at children's college, by the time they are 4-year-old or 5-year-old, they can read, they can add, they can subtract, and they can talk. I have a 2-year-old. She came to my school when she was 1 year old. Now she's 2. So one day, one girl, I knew that her mom doesn't live with her, but that particular day, she had come to school and told the girl that I'm going to spend the night with you. So when the girl came to school, she was fussing and crying. So I'm asking, why you are doing? Did your mom spend your night with you? So she said no. So the 2-year-old jumps in the conversation. She says, my mom spent the night at my house. So, you know, we talk to them a lot. And we really, you know, we do a lot of experiments. We teach them a lot, and we make them to think. So my kids, by the time they leave, they are very smart. They can read at what's called according to what's called 2nd grade level. You know, and they can add also. They can add 3 figures. They can subtract 2 figures. They can do a lot. But most of my children are like, you know, black kids, and there's 1 or 2 Spanish kids, but I don't have any white kid in my school. But I don't care because I just want to teach the children. It doesn't matter what the color they are, but they are kids. That's the important thing. So that's how we do it over there. Anything?
How do you teach them those 8 principles that you taught them?
Oh yeah, because we teach them as a song. Says, like this: 8 keys to better me, 8 keys to better me. Honesty, I always tell the truth. 8 keys to better me, 8 keys to better me. Respect, I always listen to my mommy, my teacher, and my daddy. 8 keys to better me, 8 keys to better me. Courage, I have courage to say no to drugs, smoking, drinking beer. 8 keys to... Because the kid will say, my mom drinks beer. I say, I don't care about your mom drinking beer. We don't drink beer, okay? 8 keys to better me. We say, responsibility. It's my responsibility to do my homework. Okay, 8 keys to better me, 8 keys to better me. Kindness, I'm always ready to help. So that way, we sing the song and we clap. So the kids really enjoy it, you know what I mean? And if you, no matter how, I always tell them that no matter, you do all those 7 things, but if you are not honest, it's useless. You have to be honest, you have to tell the truth. So that way, you really instill in the children honesty, respect, courage to say no, but still, when they go to high school, it's different. It's different story. High school is different story completely. I didn't have a clue how the high school goes in this country, But Iqbal and Aziz, they really showed me. But if there's a good foundation, they got the foundation. So even if they go out of that zone, they come back. You know what I mean? Because the foundation was strong. So that really helped. And I'm so blessed to have Iqbal and Aziz because they are such a wonderful children, and I'm sure they are wonderful. So because my mom never taught me how to do the housework or anything, I didn't know that I'm going to be around till now, really. I thought that I'm going to die early too, because my grandmother died when my mom was 2 months old. And my mom died when I was 11 years old, so I thought I was not going to live that long. So when Iqbal Aziz was born, by the time they were 5 years old, they used to help. I taught them everything, how to cook, how to clean, everything. Especially Zafrin said that Iqbal was called cleans better than her.
He cleans better than the cleaning service.
It's really funny, like I will go over to their house for dinner and Iqbal has the table set and he makes dinner for us, so when we get there, it's I was like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. Yeah, I taught them everything because I didn't want them to go through the way I went through when my mom died. We didn't know nothing. And when you are poor in the third world, they don't care about you at all. Even your family, nobody, they will talk about you that, oh, they don't know how to make tea. Okay, come on and teach us. So really, can't you come and teach us? It takes only, half an hour to help somebody, to teach somebody. They won't teach us anything, but all my relatives will talk about it. That, oh, they don't know how to cook, they don't know how, the house is so dirty, they don't know how to clean, they don't know how to do this, and all the time they used to talk. So I promised myself, if I have my kids, it doesn't matter whether it's girl or boy, I'm going to teach them everything. It's a blessing. So Iqbal and Aziz knows everything. They can cook, they can clean, they can wash. It's a blessing to teach, to be able to do it, everything. So, it's so important to teach our children at the young age to learn. It doesn't matter if it's a girl or boy. And even till now also, when especially when we had a party, we used to have a party in our house, Iqbal and Aziz, they will clean up everything. Everybody will be so surprised. Wow, everything's done. And you got the boys. I said, so what's the boys also have to learn something, because my husband doesn't do much work, eh? Salim does work, okay? But it's not the perfection of Iqbal and Aziz, okay? Because when Iqbal and Aziz, you tell them clean the kitchen,
the kitchen will be clean. When you tell Salim clean the kitchen, something is left. I didn't see it. Salim will say, I didn't know. Okay, do I have to do that? You know, what like that? You know, but it's such a blessing, and I'm so glad that because Zafreen is in our life, because I mean Zafreen is such a nice person. She's really, really nice. She can handle me, so she can handle anybody. Really, it's a blessing to have her in our life, you know, in our family. And Aziz's wife is also really nice. She's not here yet. She's in Sri Lanka. So when she's also a really nice person. So it'll be kind of nice, yeah.
Have you traveled often back to Tanzania?
Oh yeah, definitely. After 5 years, I stayed in London, England. I could not travel. After 5 years, then I went back, and then when Iqbal was born, when he was 1 year old, I took him back to Tanzania. At that time, my dad was still alive. Then Aziz was born. Then Aziz was 1 year old. I took them, both of them, then to Tanzania. So I travel a lot, but I don't think I can live there, because I'm so used to, I hate people lie, and that culture in Tanzania is lying. People in the, they're what's called habitual liars, okay? And I'm not used to it now. Now I can, so I go there, I stay for a week, but then my sister will sit next to me when my cousin comes, and she knows that I will speak up, so she will elbow me, keep quiet. Because, you know, they will say tell you the story which is not true, and you know it. So I can't, it's very hard for me to keep my mouth shut, you know. So I go there, but I just stay for, when my dad was alive, I used to go like stay for 3 months or 2 months. But now when I go, I just stay for 5 days and come back. I just go there, but I don't go, I can't stay longer than 5 days. I don't think I can go and live back there. It's kind of really hard, you know. Yeah, because here we are so blessed. America is the best country in the world, no matter what we say, okay? Because in other countries, like in Pakistan or Tanzania, you cannot live, you cannot become yourself, because you have to follow the group. And the group, even if you don't like it, you have to be in that kind of a culture. While in America, you can practice whatever you want to do. I mean, nobody can tell you. The first thing I did when I landed to America, I adopted what's called British accent. I had it with it, because I spent for hours and hours in the what's called library, try to listen their accent and talk like them and do things that I know. And I said, go to America. First thing I dropped that British accent. I said, because I knew that America accepts you as you are. What's called, although now the things are different, but a long time ago it was like the way you are accepted as a person. But in Britain or in other countries, it's really hard. Now even in London also, I don't think I can live over that life again. So I find that America, you know, if you travel, no matter where you go, you'll find that America, no matter what, is the best country in the world, still. Even after having our what's called fantastic president, still it's the best country, really, you know, because here you got so much freedom. Here you can speak your mind. Nobody's going to tell you anything. Here you got a freedom not to lie. If you don't want to lie, nobody will stop you. You know what I mean? Here you can practice your religion the way you want it. Nobody stops you. I mean, even if they don't like what you look like or how, I find that when people are what's called prejudiced, I just let them go. I find those people are what's called ignorant. They don't know. Because if they don't know me, they don't know who I am, and they're still talking about me, I don't care. And the one thing is that for sure, I know that this is not my country. I am here like a guest also, because no matter what, even if I live 100 years, still I am not American. I am naturalized American. I'm not born here. So I got that, I got that idea, but still, this is the best country in the world, really.
Auntie, did you have love at first sight with your husband?
What's it again?
Did you have love at first sight with your husband?
Love at first sight with your husband.
Yeah, that's what I told you, didn't I tell you? Yeah, now Zafreen one day passed a comment, okay? I didn't like it, so I'm telling her now. Zafrin's, we were talking about this, you know, because I saw him first sight love, you know, his first love, and Zafrin said, what's called, how about him? Did he like you the first sight? I don't know about that, but we are I don't know about that, but we are stuck here. We have been all.
It worked out. It worked out. It worked out.
Yeah, almost 41 years, so it's not bad. You know what I mean? Yeah, and for a long time, my family didn't know that he's Sunni. You know, for a long time, almost 10 years afterwards. Then only my immediate family knew, but nobody else knew it because they over there in it's called over there. That's how it is. The Sunnis and Shia is so much strong. Now I think it's changed, but before it wasn't like that. The Sunni and Shia like very, very, very strong. And they never used to, I mean, when I got married, when eventually my cousin found out that he's Sunni, they made such a big deal about it, you know, they talked about it. But so happened, you know, sometimes when you talk too much, it comes back to you. One of my cousins, her daughter married a Sunni. They fell in love since high school, okay? And then now my cousin, when we were in what's called Orlando, I mean, all the cousins were calling because my sister was from Africa, came to visit us. So all my cousins were calling and talking. But this particular cousin never called because she feels so bad about it that her daughter got married with a Sunni. I mean, it doesn't make sense, you know, but those things like caste and culture is too much, you know. Culture and religion is so different. Culture is, I mean, religion is so simple. Islam is really simple language, you know, to teach, but culture is so different. I mean, culture makes you crazy sometimes. So that's the only thing I can say about my life. But I'm so, thank you so much that you found it so interesting, because I never thought it was that interesting, my story, you know what I mean?
I find it very inspiring that, that somebody would leave their country and go to another country, be a devote to their religion, and still manage to be their own self. Because normally the narrative around is that if you're religious, you have to somehow give up who you are as a person. And so to find somebody that's their authentic self and still devoted to their religion is something powerful. I think it's very powerful. And I fully believe that that those things can exist, and sometimes it's really hard. And I more times than not, I meet people who struggle with, how do I be true to my religion and still be my authentic self? And so this is really, really good. And I really, again, appreciate the fact that you guys came out, participated. Don't feel like you have to run off. We still have lots of food.
Yeah.
Stuff to drink, so whatever, hang around, ask more questions.
Yeah, but
Oh, sorry.
yeah, but one thing, let me tell you guys, when I went to England, okay, I never thought about what are going to be the problems. I only saw the positive things. And the same thing when I came to America, I didn't do the research of how New Orleans is going to be like or how America is going to be like. I just made it because I had knowing that, okay, I'm going to do it, and that's it, you know, because once you do the research, oh boy, and once you talk to people, you'll get so many negative things and so many things about it, and that really pulls you down and makes you scared. So I don't do that. I just do it. I just go it, and then I find, wow, this is something I've never experienced, you know. And the same thing when I came to America, I just came here. I didn't know that, oh wow, what's it going to be, no? And especially when I was pregnant, I wanted what's called squash. Or then in England, the squash is like, it comes in a juice like, and then you mix with water. So I tell this what's called American friend, I want squash. So she takes me to all vegetable. I said, this is not squash. I'm looking for squash drink, you know what I mean? Although I found so many different, even like the spelling of color and the program, everything is so different, but I don't once I have the knowing that I'm doing this thing, I'll do it. I don't ask opinion, I don't do research, I just do it. I know it's crazy, but that's how I am. I just do it. Yeah, you have the gut, you have the thing, and you have always to follow your smallest call in your heart. You must follow it. Don't ignore it, because if you ignore it, you'll get in trouble. And when you have the small calling in your heart tells you do it or don't do it, go. See, when Iqbal met Zafreen, I didn't know her family. Okay, and in our culture, we go and see the family first and talk with the first and everything. So anyway, with Iqbal, we did like that for 2 years, okay? Until then, they got married. Now here, Aziz, she gets a profile of the girl, and she shows me the last sentence really caught my eyes. It says, I'm not looking for a perfect husband. I say, yes. Because I know Aziz is not perfect, okay? So I tell Aziz, go and talk. Salim said, no, she's 35-year-old. I said, so what? Your son is also 35. No big deal. So I tell Aziz, go and talk to her. So Aziz goes and talks to her, and he comes downstairs. He says, I'm going to marry this girl. I said, thank God. Because before that, Zafreen will find a girl. Zafreen will call the girl and talk to her, and then Zafreen will give the name to Aziz to talk to the girl, and Aziz will talk for one time only and says, Mom, it didn't click. And Iqbal said, make it click. So when he came and said, okay, I said, okay, and Iqbal says, okay, let's go and see the family. Aziz said, no, we're going to marry her. I said, that's my boy. You know what I mean? We saw her family only on Skype, but I had fully trust in my son that I knew that he will choose the partner who's going to be best person in his life. So once you have a trust in your child, then you don't have to doubt it. So when as Iqbal came to tell me that Zafreen is the girl she's talking to, and when I met Zafreen, I said, wow, this is really good. This is a good girl. Then I really pushed him to get. But then when we went for the wedding, oh boy, I created a big headache with them. Okay. Okay, we are going to Pakistan during the winter. Okay. Now my husband is not telling me that Pakistan winter is really cold. Iqbal and Aziz don't tell me that it's very cold. Zafreen doesn't tell me it's really cold. So I only take a jacket, a sweater only, and go there. And then when I go over there, as soon as her family is telling me that electricity goes off every hour, but it didn't click me because I was so tired after, 24 hours of traveling. So we go over there, and then all of a sudden I find out that I want to go to the bathroom. Okay? And at that time, the light was off. And I go to the bathroom, and I find it's so cold. Oh boy, I can't get out enough. I can't get fast enough out of the bathroom. It was so cold, and for me it was really cold. But afterwards, then what's called. Eventually, her dad bought. Was called those big generators, and then it was okay. But I knew that this is the girl, and I knew that it's going to happen. And the same thing with Aziz. When Aziz said that I like this girl, I'm going to marry, I say, okay, go ahead, because you trust your children. You know that they will make the right decision. It's so important to trust the people very close to you to make the right decision, and don't doubt them. That's the best advice I can give as a parent. Always trust your child.
What are you saying? You have one question?
Okay, my question is, when you came to America, did you have these Americans bullying you and want to tell you what you should do and what you shouldn't do?
Oh yeah.
How you talk and all of that? How did you deal with something like that?
When the people come and tell me or talk like that, I think that those people are what's called ignorant. They don't know what they're talking about. I don't take anybody's bully into account. Even if they tell me that, okay, especially with Iqbal and Aziz, when they were young, they're going to school, and a lot of parents wanted them to do a lot of things with their children, and I found some parents, I didn't like them, because I knew that they let the kids do whatever they want, and I didn't want them to do that thing. In a way, I think I was very protective of my boys, but then parenting is what's called 20-20 catch. Either you do it, you're doomed or not. But when the people come and tell me like that, or they pass the comment, I just ignore it. That's the thing I learned from England, from my teacher, when he told me that was called, when the people come and talk, to tell them, me speak no English. So that was the best one. Best advice I got from there. So no matter how much they talk, I just let it go. And I try to make the Iqbal Azil also, to stand up with the bullies. I mean, Iqbal stood up really well. But Aziz, I don't know. Aziz joined them sometime. No, because Aziz will join them, and then he'll come home and tell me that what he saw is not right. So I will tell him, why didn't you speak up? Okay? But sometimes he won't speak up. But sometimes he'll speak up. But sometimes he won't speak up. Am I right? Yeah. But Iqbal will speak up at once. He won't. Let anybody bully anybody or anything in school, especially in high school. He was really strong. He had a very strong personality, and still has got it. And Aziz has got a very strong, but Aziz also sometimes what he does, he is like a nice person. Like my husband, you know what I mean? He doesn't want to hurt their feeling, So Iqbal and Aziz has got my quality. Iqbal has got like my quality. Okay, no, I mean, he'll speak up, okay? And Aziz will like his daddy. Okay, now I can't, it's okay, I won't, I don't want to hurt their feeling. But Iqbal will not, And in doing work also, Iqbal is like me. We do work really fast. Aziz is laid back with like his daddy. Okay, I will do it, like that, So both of them, they got the quality, but both of them, they got a really quality of good being a human being. That's the most important thing. They have got really good quality, to be nice to people, to accept people as they are. So it's really nice quality. And helping people, it doesn't matter what. I hear the door every half an hour at Iqbal's house, somebody's knocking. Okay, so I said, what they want? They want food. So they, give them food. They give them money. So it's a really nice quality to help people, like that.
As a reference point, just so that for all Miamians, Iqbal convinced Zafreen that they should buy a house in Brownsville. And Zafreen, just being in Miami for a year, agreed, and yes, they live in Brownsville.
I went kicking and screaming, you know that.
but she was like, yeah, it's not going to be that bad, but yes, they have a house in Brownsville.
They have a house in Brownsville, and they never told me that they hear gunshots. Okay, one time Iqbal was not in town, and Zafreen sent me the picture of all the light flashing, of the car flashing, and Iqbal is telling us, Zafreen, why did you send to mom?
They're living their advocacy.
Yeah.
More power to them.
Yeah, and I think a lot of things he learned, Iqbal, also, that no matter because my school is also in the area. Before it used to be like a really good area, like all white people, but then all the white people moved out, and the what's called minority people came behind me. So the area is like, but we are open from 7 to 4, so I don't care. But the thing is, always find good in people. I always find something good and then build the relationship. Don't find something bad and then build the relationship. I always look for something good in every people, and then I build the relationship. And I taught them also the same thing. No matter who he or she is, look for the good thing. And from that only you can really build the relationship with the people, and then you can know the person, whether she's black or brown or white, what are there, really. I got so many people and so many kids come to me, and I wonder that they still remember me. Because the thing is, the small thing I've done, like for the kid, one time I had another teacher. She was very strict. And when they do something, they act up, they won't give them candy. And I will go behind them and give them candy. So they still remember that thing. You know what I mean? Such a small thing. I didn't even know about it, that I was going behind and giving them. But they remember it. You used to come and give us candy when Miss Rosemary don't give us candy. I said, really? I don't remember it. She said, I remember it. You used to give me a candy. So the small thing you do for the people, they really remember it long time. And or when I went to Canada, I think this quality you have from when you are very small. When I was in school, we were so poor. So my mom, sometimes every now and then, my dad will give like 5 cents. 5 cents, you can buy so many things in school. So there was one girl, she was orphan and she did not have money. So whenever I have the money, I will go and buy things and share with her. So when I went to Canada, after so many years, that girl, somehow she found I was there. So she invited us at her house. And she was telling me that she still remembers so many years back in Africa, because I was sharing the thing with her. So when you do things, good things, it is always there for you. And when you do bad things, but I remember that all the time. I remember also when I came to America, when I was back home only, I remember sometimes my mom will go to some of his friends, because we were poor, her friends will give gift. Okay, and I used to think to myself, wow, I hope one day I'll be able to give gifts to anybody. And then when I came to America, I met one woman, her name was Yvonne. And she used to do like that. During Christmas time, she'll buy so many extra gifts, and then whoever comes in her house, she will give it. And I used to, at that time, we didn't have too much money. We had 2 kids, Iqbal and Aziz, and Salim was only working. But I used to think that, wow, I wish I could do it, But I've been so blessed now. During Christmas time, I buy so many things, okay? And when whoever I meet, I just give it. It doesn't matter who it is, and I'm very fond of giving perfumes, special Estelle order. I love to give Estelle order. So I buy so many with my own money, and I keep it ready in my car. And if I see somebody I know or haven't seen for a long time, doesn't matter who it is, I'll just take out the box and give them. I love to give. And I'm so blessed that I can do it, I can still do it. So that's really a blessing. And when you give, God gives you 10 times more.
Absolutely.
But you have to have that concept. Otherwise, you will never give, because you will think that, no, if I give, then I don't have anything. But I have got the concept that when I give one thing, I get 10 things more. So I just love to give.
Well, I appreciate your gift today, because to me this is a very powerful gift for you to come. She flew from New Orleans.
Thank you for you.
To provide this share and enlightenment with my friends.
Thank you for you to inviting and finding it so interesting. Thank you.
So thank you. This is like the most, I think, one of the best gifts I've gotten so far this year. I truly appreciate it. And of course, everybody else's gift of your time.
Yeah.
It's one of those priceless things that just keep giving and giving and giving. So.
Yeah, because I never, when I did all this, the journey to go from one country to another country, I never thought of what I'm going to find difficult. I just went. If I would sit down and think about it, I would have never made this trip, especially going to England. Oh, I didn't know that how hard it's going to be, not knowing the English and not knowing how to talk like them. It was so hard. But also one thing also, I always block off the bad things in my life. I don't dwell on it a lot. Well, everything, especially my life in Tanzania, during the time my mom died till I left home, like I was 20, I blocked all that area. I don't remember too much. I don't keep it. I remember certain things is just a stick in my mind that I cannot take it out. The death of my mom, that I cannot take it out. But a lot of things happen. I just let it go. I just let it go. I don't think about it too much, because if you think about it, you'll go crazy. Really. It's not worth it, And especially when you're blessed, I always think about the blessing I have. Iqbal and Aziz and my husband and Zafreen, and now another edition. I got a third edition. Now I'm a grandmother. I'm so excited about it. And I used to feel so bad. I used to get aggravated when grandmother showed me their granddaughters. And now I'm the one showing everybody. Yeah, I got. I say, you know what I mean? It's because all the blessing you have, you think about that thing. And I know that you, at the moment, you won't believe me, but America is the best country, but it is, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.